Welcome, dear viewers, to today's video on our channel. The topic we will explore today is deeply rooted in human psychology. Duplicity. Regardless of whether we've had experience with duplicitous people before or not, we've all heard of this phenomenon. Duplicity is like a skillful performance that takes place on the stage of everyday life. As an actor who interprets different roles, a two-faced person plays a unique performance in front of different audiences. But the key difference is that this play is not confined to the stage, it takes place in real life, interacting with people who believe it. Behind every mask is a motivation, inner conflict, or need for acceptance. Duplicity often stems from the fear of rejection or the desire to adapt to the environment. A person who practices duplicity is often faced with the constant effort of maintaining different characters in order to achieve desired goals. It is important to understand that hypocrisy is often a sign of deeper emotional issues or insecurities. People who practice duplicity often hide their true face for fear of revealing their own vulnerability or creating conflicts. In everyday life, we witness this performance, and sometimes we can be seduced by the brilliance of those masks. However, as observers, it is important to develop a critical eye in order to recognize the duplicity and understand the true nature of the persons who occupy our daily lives. The question arises, why do people decide to perform this complex performance of duplicity? The answer to that question takes us to the depths of the human psyche, where different motives and internal conflicts permeate. What appears to be a simple concealment of the truth is often complex behavior stemming from complex emotions and fears. Duplicity is often the result of trauma, insecurity, or the need for approval from others. Individuals who practice duplicity may have learned that expressing their authentic selves can result in rejection or judgment. Therefore, they choose the path of hiding behind masks, seeking security in the acceptance they get through adaptation and playing different roles. Also, it is important to recognize that duplicity is not only about outward behavior, but can deeply affect a person's inner emotional state. Maintaining a false image and the constant struggle between the real self and the self that is portrayed can result in stress, anxiety, and often leads to emotional exhaustion. Dealing with duplicity in yourself or others can be challenging, but understanding the roots of this behavior can open the door to compassion and helping people find an authentic path to themselves. In further research, we will explore how to recognize these deep motives and how to build a bridge to a true expression of identity. Stay with us as we discover together the secrets of duplicity and how to deal with it on your way to true emotional healing. How does duplicity affect our daily relationships? This is the question that leads us through the labyrinth of complexities of interpersonal interactions. Duplicity, like a virus, can infect and erode the foundations of a relationship, leaving behind traces that can be difficult to repair. Loss of trust. Duplicity often results in a loss of trust. When people discover that they have been exposed to lies or concealment of the truth, the trust they once had can be shattered. Relationships become fragile, and the reaction to future information becomes reserved. Difficult communication becomes challenging in the presence of duplicity. People may become more cautious about sharing information and feelings because they don't know what is real and what is pretend. It becomes difficult to build openness and honesty. Creating unnecessary conflicts. Duplicity often encourages misunderstandings and conflicts. Differences between what is said and what is actually meant can lead to unnecessary conflicts. Relationships become strained and compromises become difficult. Emotional distance. People often respond to duplicity by creating emotional distance. They try to protect themselves from potential harm by withdrawing or becoming reserved. Relationships become cold, lost in a fog of lies. Difficulty building deep connections. Creating deep, authentic connections becomes challenging in the presence of duplicity. People tend to connect with others when there is mistrust or when they face constant concealment. Through this analysis, We want to gain a deeper understanding of how duplicity shapes our everyday relationships. We all wear different masks in different life situations. But it is important to understand that there is a subtle difference between adapting to a social environment and systematically, deliberately concealing one's true nature, what we define as hypocrisy. Adaptation to social context. Mask wearers often adapt to different social situations in order to maintain harmony and establish connections with others. This is a natural human characteristic that allows us to adapt to different social circumstances. Systematic concealment of one's true nature, duplicity, on the other hand, occurs when a person deliberately conceals their true self, using different guises to achieve personal goals or avoid facing the truth. This is a form of manipulation and avoidance of authenticity. It is important to note that wearing masks in different situations can be a natural and adaptive mechanism, but the problem arises when those masks are used for manipulation or misrepresentation. Through this analysis, we seek to understand the boundary between healthy adaptation and duplicity. Thank you for being with us today. Whether you are already faced with duplicity or want to expand your knowledge, we hope you find this video informative and helpful. Now, let's dive together into the world behind the masks and discover the true nature of duplicitous personalities.